Good evening and welcome to Let's Talk. My name is James, and I started doing this show, Let's Talk, to talk about the news. In the news lately has been Samantha Woll, the brutal murder of this young woman that is seems to be forgotten about by the media. So I will continue to do this show every weekday, talking about Samantha Woll until her perpetrator is brought to justice. Now, a little bit about me. I was a private investigator for 10 years in the Bay Area of California. I've had other jobs as court reporting, law research, and I was also a instructor in interrogation techniques and deception detection techniques for interviewing witnesses and suspects. Now, a little bit about this case. Samantha Woll, she's a 40-year-old woman, single woman from Detroit. And at 6:30 a.m. Saturday morning, October 21st, 2023, a neighbor called 911 to report a body laying on the sidewalk in the Lafayette Park area of Detroit. Police arrived and identified the woman as Samantha Woll and determined she had been stabbed to death from multiple stab wounds. And a trail of blood led from uh, the location of the body to the inside of her residence. The police determined the murder had taken place inside, and she then stumbled outside and fell to the ground where she was found. Now, there was no signs of any forced entry, and she had no defensive wounds on her. The police immediately ruled out a hate crime motive because of the uh, horrendous attack happened in Israel by Hamas. It was right about this time, October 21st, when she was murdered. So that was the first thing the police looked at. And they determined no, the evidence they had referred to something else. So they ruled out a hate crime. Now, Samantha Wool was the board president of the Downtown Synagogue of Detroit and was very politically active. She recently served as the political director for Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel's reelection campaign and also worked as a deputy district director for U.S. Representative Slotkin of Michigan. Now, the break in the case came on Wednesday, November 8th, when police made an arrest of an unnamed suspect who reportedly knew Miss Wool and attended her funeral. The arrest was made in Kalamazoo. Now, it indicates the police were watching this person and had him detained in Kalamazoo and started questioning him. En route to Detroit, the suspect was made statements and he was arrested at that time. And he then invoked his rights of not speaking with the police and requested an attorney. What those statements were, but has not been told, not been released. And so on Friday, November 10th, he was released without being charged. Now, Michigan state law, after 72 hours from an arrest, the suspect must be either charged or released. So they released him without being charged. Now, Crime Stoppers has issued a $15,000 reward for tips leading to an arrest. And that is it so far. Uh, the police commissioner had a board meeting, and had uh, Police Chief White present and answered questions in regards to the cases with Samantha Woll and also Dr. Horton. And I'm just now looking at the comments. So Saturnine, who is that? Where is she from? That is Samantha Woll, and she is from Detroit. Uh, and says, glad I'm a Native American. I don't like none of your peoples. Okay, well, that's your opinion. Good for you. So they had a meeting, and in regards to the murder of Dr. Horton, he made a flippant comment, and here I'll let you listen. Uh,
but I know the work that's being done by the people that do this work. And so the characterization that I made was hopefully by snowfall. I may not have said hopefully. I'm sure it'll be checked, but I said should be by snowfall. Well, this is Michigan. That could be June in some cases, but in any event, probably an artful statement on my part. Snow has fallen, and that's why we're here today.
so that was Police Chief White. His flippant remark in regards to Dr. Horton's murder was rather unprofessional, so to say the least. And as he was also asked about the murder with Samantha Woll, and the question was posed as at the beginning of the investigation, Police Chief White, uh, you stated that it was not a hate crime. Is that still the case? And his response was, at this time, the evidence states that it is not a hate crime. So, what it is, who knows? Um, that I have my own theories in regards to this. It's assumed that the detectives are following a domestic violence type motive. Uh, Things to note, her cell phone and wallet were present. There was no forced entry, and the murder took place inside the residence. So it's not a robbery, and plus there was no defensive wounds, stating suggesting she was not uh, like she didn't have her guard up and trusted the person that she was with. So it indicates a very personal uh, relationship with this person. So, and the one thing that bothers me is that they have not questioned the police about the murder weapon. The media, they have not questioned the police that they have a murder weapon. Was it a knife that was taken from the residence? Was it a knife that was brought to the scene? Many questions. It's not been answered, and it it's going on a month and a half now. Today is the start of Hanukkah, and I'm sure her family is just. I could not even imagine what their family is going through. So please, this case needs to be solved. So if you could, please share this out with others. Share it on all of your platforms that you have. And until tomorrow, have a good night.